right, well, hello friends, we are back. Rosie and I are back. I don't know if you can see Miss Rosebud. You can't see Miss Rosebud quite yet, but I'm sure she will appear here. Woo! As we work these charts and find out, this is an interesting one. We just did our energy exchange where we find out what's one energy we would most benefit from getting cleared, and then what is a new energy we could call in its place. And this is sort of an interesting one because the energy that we were supposed to release today was the energy of demand, but then the energy we were calling in its place was self-control. And the 7,000 things that go through my mind all of these brief moments was like, oh my gosh, demand, self-control, like those feel like cousins. But then by the end of those 3 minutes doing that video, it started to kind of sink in, which is like, demand is the external. Demand is the thing that is controlling you. All those external demands, all those people telling you what you should be doing. And by people, maybe that doesn't necessarily mean it's like an active person in your life saying, hey, Sally, you need to go to the store. Hey, so-and-so, you need to go to work. Hey, but it's like that thing that tells us all as a society what we should be doing. It's the should energy, right? You should be doing this. You should be doing that. You should feel this way. You should be operating in this capacity, etc. So releasing all of that demand, and in its place, we're calling in self-control. Our ability to say, that's okay, thanks. Appreciate you, appreciate your opinion, appreciate your perspective, appreciate all that programming that you're trying to give me, appreciate all that influence that you're trying to, like, you know, control me with. But I actually want to be in control of myself. I actually want to be the one that operates this avatar fully, completely, and on my own. And so I'm curious, actually, I don't usually do this, but let's start with a percentage question. We're going to go to one of my number charts and we're going to find out what percent are we operating inside of our own self-control. And I'm going to say we, because again, this is about our collective awareness, our collective consciousness. We are all connected deep underneath the surface. We are all sharing a part of one big juicy ball of awareness, light, source, information, knowledge. And we know this, right? We know this in part through anthropology, okay? So you can go and study the exact same time period all over the globe, and you will find that different cultures and different sects and different tribes were expressing the same things at the same time through their art, through their language, through perhaps the written word, through what they were finding as artifacts. And we know that they were not communicating with one another. They didn't have Wi-Fi back then. They didn't have the newspaper. They were connected, though, through consciousness, through collective consciousness. And that's what I'm connecting with you in right now. Your consciousness and my consciousness, we are connected. It doesn't mean that I can read your mind and read your thoughts, although sometimes I can, and that's kind of scary. But it doesn't mean that. What it just means is like, hey, the experience that I'm having in my subconscious is very similar to the experience that you're probably having in your subconscious. The experience that I'm having, or the information, the knowledge, the truth, the whatever it is that I can access, you can access it too. And the things that are driving me below the surface are probably the same things that are driving you below the surface. So we're working on all of us collectively right now. And you might not be consciously aware that this is an issue, right? You might have stumbled on this video and been like, well, Kate, not really. I don't really understand what you mean here about this whole demand thing. I don't really feel like anybody's demanding anything of me. I don't really feel like I have any issues with self-control. Okay, fine. You can scroll on by, or maybe there is something here that you're just not aware of, because that's how deep it is in either the sub or the unconscious. So think on that. You can stay and watch this video and see what comes up, because maybe when we look at the root of this demand, when we look at what might be blocking us to, again, our self-control, maybe something there then resonates with you. We shall see. So what do we do? So we just found that, did I ask a number question? Did I? What percent? I don't think I did. I think I just started explaining why I was checking a number for the whole collective. Sorry, it's late. I had a long day at work, and then I was just like, why don't I do a video? We'll see what happens. If this is horrible, we just won't post it. No big deal. Okay, so I will ask the question now. So the question is, What percent are we operating inside of self-control? What percent of the collective is the collective operating inside of self-control right now? 50%. What percent are we blocked to our self-control? 50%. So we've got some self-control going on, right? Like, we're not just puppets. We're not just robots that are completely being controlled, but there's definitely some issues there. And then let's look really briefly, because I don't actually think we need to do much research on this, but let's look briefly at the root of this demand. So is there a story? Is there a theme? Is there a thread here that we can see that will help us understand this demand thing a little bit better? This energy of demand. This energy of demand. And it, you know, for some reason, I just feel like saying, like, right out of the gate, like, I just release all of us from this energy of demand right now. We just release ourselves. And you can say, I release myself from the energy of demand. Right here, right now, I release myself from the energy of demand. I release myself from any hooks that demand has on me. I release my attachment to demanding energy. I release my codependency with demand. I can be motivated and inspired inside of myself without any external demands weighing on me. Ooh, okay, so we say that now. Now we go to this chart that it just showed me I'm supposed to go to, and we're going to say, what's the root? What's the root story of this demand? The rescuer archetype. Aha, the picture is unfolding. The picture is unfolding as it always does. And again, I like to compare the work that I'm doing right now. This is called Spiritual Response Technique. And it's a series of dowsing charts, and I just interpret similar to a tarot reader, right? A card comes up, you interpret the meaning of the card in the context of the question, in the context of the reading. And so that's what I'm doing right now. So what just came up was the rescuer archetype, and immediately I just saw the whole picture. And the whole picture is, it's actually not an external demand. It's your own internal demand, because you think you have to rescue everybody else and everything else around you. And you're actually not operating inside of a lot of self-control, because you're not doing the things that you want to do naturally, authentically. You're just trying to act as a rescuer. You're just trying to act as a rescuer, okay? So that's thing one. Thing two could be, you're experiencing someone in your life right now who is being super demanding of you because they think they need to rescue you. Gross. Gross. Ugh. That makes me feel disgusted. If I had somebody in my life right now, and this has happened, but if I had somebody in my life right now who was demanding things of me because they were trying to fix me, trying to rescue me, thinking that they knew better than me, gag me. That's disgusting. I find that so off-putting. Don't do that. So if you're doing that to somebody else, cut it out. If you're doing it to yourself, cut it out. If you're just trying to, like, you know, do the right thing, you know, I'll rescue myself by doing all these things, demanding all these things of myself. I will get up every morning at 5 a.m. and I will exercise and I will drink 2 liters of water and I will take all my supplements, and then I will go and I will take my dog for a walk, and then I will go and work my work day, and then when I get home I will read these books and do these things, and I will rescue myself, and I will okay. So none of these things are good. None of the ways in which that I am seeing this right now and explaining this right now is good, right? Those external people who are trying to fix you and rescue you, gross, you're disgusting, bye. Us trying to live inside the energy of rescuing ourselves like you need freaking fixed, that's disgusting, goodbye. And then what's the other option? Oh, you acting as the rescuer of other people, demanding crap of yourself because you think I need to do this in order to rescue the people around me. Also disgusting. So remember at the beginning when I was like, hey, what's one gross, disgusting energy we could get rid of today? That's disgusting. I find that gross. I find that gross. I find it gross. Like, let people be people. Let yourself be you. First of all, let you be you, and let other people be other people. Let you be you, let other people be other people. And if you have someone in your life who is trying to rescue you and make demands of you to fix you and to solve you, gross, get them out of your life. You don't need that in your life. You don't need that in your life. It's so hard because I feel like so many people think that once you've let someone in your life, you are obligated to keep them in your life. And that's hooey. That's a flat out lie. Somebody can come into your life for 2 weeks, and that's beautiful and wonderful and important, and then we let them go. Somebody can be in your life for 2 months, 2 years, 2 decades. No one has to last in your life forever. Nobody. Okay. I was going to say something, but that's not true. Okay. So you are not bound to any dynamic if it is not serving you, and if it is creating this icky energy in your life. You're not bound to it. Like, even if you have like a marriage contract and children, like, you're not bound. You're not bound. I know, God, I feel so bad sometimes when I say these things, because I feel like people must think I'm like a horrible person and I'm such a bad influence on everybody, telling them to, like, you know, break up with their partners and whatever, you know, excommunicate your great auntie who is getting all up in your business all the time, you know, don't stop hanging out with the family friend who's just trying to rescue all the time. I feel like it's like not normal advice to just be telling people to cut people out of your life, but it's okay to cut people out of your life. It's okay to cut the rescuers out of your life who actually have no interest in helping you, but it's probably just that it's their own identity needs that are like getting met by this dynamic. They don't actually care. They don't actually want you to be successful, happy, healthy. If they did, they would let you, through your own self-control, through your own free will, experience life. So, I always feel really weird when crap like this comes up, because I feel like I'm supposed to be giving like kumbaya advice, like just love everyone and be friends with everybody and make things work, and I don't know, and that's just like not who I am. I'm one of those cut it off people. I'm one of those, like, if it's not working, if it's creating the energy of demand in your life that is not actually helpful for you, just be done. Okay, what else is going on here? So we have some desires to just get right back into these relationships. Again, this came up the other day. Don't get back with your ex. Don't get back with this person who is doing this in your life. Don't just get rid of one rescuer and then replace them with another rescuer. Because then honestly, I would think, what does that say about you? What does that say about your own sense of self that you feel like you need a rescuer in your life? What does that say about your relationship to your own intuition, to your own self-esteem, to your own confidence? What does it say about your confidence if you feel like you always have to have a rescuer in your life? And what does it say about how you trust other people if you feel like you need to rescue them? So this isn't, it's not good all around. I don't care how you slice it. I don't care how you shake it out with this clearing. I'm getting bad news all around. And here we are trying to reestablish these connections, reestablish this program of I need a rescuer or I must be a rescuer. I either need rescued or I need to be a rescuer. And we're just keep toggling between these programs, and it is not benefiting us. What percent does it benefit us to think that we need a rescuer and to keep reestablishing these dynamics in our life? What percent does it benefit us? That's a 0. That's a 0% right there. That's my 0. It does not benefit you whatsoever to keep these dynamics rolling. It does not benefit you whatsoever to keep allowing the rescuers and the fixers into your life. It does not benefit you whatsoever to constantly act as the rescuer. I get it. Like, that feels good. It feels like maybe that's your purpose. Maybe you feel like that's what you're on this planet to do. But I would bet you, and I would guarantee that there is a version of that you can do without it having to get into your relational dynamics. Like, rescue cats, start an animal rescue, or rescue, dying plants from Home Depot. Rescue beautiful artifacts from antique stores. Rescue the thing that somebody was going to throw out in the trash. If you see your neighbor and they've got their, whatever, their vase or their vacuum cleaner out on the trash at the corner or the curb, take it and fix it and then reuse it. Use your rescuer energy for that. Don't do it in your dynamics with people. Don't do it in the dynamic with yourself. Don't allow it to be in your life, in your relationships again. So let's look again, let's look a little deeper at any blocks we have to our self-control, because I think if we're going to be able to do this, if we're going to be able to move out of our rescuer archetype or remove the rescuers from our life, we're going to need that self-control, because it's not going to be easy. Because again, what came up? Oh, we're just desiring to reestablish this. We just want to get into it over and over and over again. We don't really want to let this go. So we need help. We need our self-control. So we were 50% blocked to our self-control, 50% operating in it. So what do we need to do to sort of fully open ourselves up to being really just in the energy of our self-control, to be able to do this hard work of shifting these relational dynamics? So it's just programs in our subconscious mind. And a lot of this is around religion. A lot of this around thoughts, feelings, beliefs about God. And again, it's symbolic. It doesn't necessarily mean this is literally about God or religion, but it's the symbolism of God and religion, right? I am the savior. You need a savior. I will be your savior. You are broken. You are a sinner. You need me. You need me to forgive you in order for you to get to heaven. It's that dynamic. It's that mindset. So you can say right now, I release myself from any savior complex I may have, and I release myself from any contract, vow, or agreement I have ever made with anyone to be my savior. That's going to be hard for some of you. That's going to be hard for some of you to say. That was hard for me to say, because when I was 7, 8 years old, and I asked Jesus to come into my heart and be my savior, that was a vow, that was a contract, that was an agreement that I made. And so it is hard for me still, some 40 years later, to say, no, I don't agree to that vow anymore. I don't agree to say that I am broken. I do not agree to write some contract that says I am broken and need fixed. No, that's also gross. That's also gross. I find that gross. We can be in contract with one another because we love one another equally, mutually, and with support that goes both ways, not because you or me needs fixed. Not because you or me needs a savior, not because I am unworthy and the only thing that makes me worthy is you as my fixer, as my savior, healing me or choosing me. Yeah, and I think that's why some of you have allowed this in your life, is because, well, at least this person is choosing me. At least this fixer wants me in their life. That feels better than not being chosen at all. Feels better to be chosen by somebody with a savior complex than by nobody at all. At least that's the vibe I'm getting for some of you. But the thing of it is, you don't know what you can call into your life, what you can bring into your life when someone like this very powerful person with a savior complex is telling you that you are broken, is telling you that you need them. I mean, now we're tiptoeing into the world of narcissism. That's the first time I've ever said that word in any one of my 100 and some clearing videos. But that's the territory we're tiptoeing into here. And I'm not going to say that's the case for all people watching this right now or for the whole collective, but yeah, there is that possibility that you have someone in your life right now that has manipulated your brain into thinking that you need them in order for you to be fixed, saved, rescued. And that is not serving you. That is blocking you from calling in more people, better people, the people who will see you as the whole wonderful being that you are. But again, and I can testify to this, the only way to get out of this dynamic, to get out of this situation, is to take your self-control back. To take that self-control, to break free from the demands, to break free from the demands that this fixer has on you, or to break free from the demands you're making of someone else in your attempt to fix them, or again, potentially fix yourself, if this is more of like an internal dynamic we're talking about here. But the only way to break free from that is through your self-control. And that self-control means you taking responsibility and accountability and saying, this is my life. This is only my life. No one has control or power over me except me. And I refuse to let myself stay in this dynamic that has me convinced that I am broken, unworthy, etc., etc., etc. So now what percent are we blocked to our self-control? So we were 50% blocked. Now what percent are we blocked to our self-control? Okay, we're down to like 7%. Beautiful. So now what can we do to get rid of this final 7% block to us being able to be in control? Is this 6E or 5? This is 5. Okay, 5 has got some intense stuff going on here. I'm curious to see what this says. What's going on chart 5 about this whole dynamic? There are soulless dark energies that we have unintentionally gotten into a contract with. So we release all vows, contracts, addictions, attractions, and agreements that we have ever made with any dark force that was going to tell us, again, that we are unworthy, that we need fixed, that we are broken, and that we need them as our savior. And we release ourselves now from any dark energy inside of ourselves that is having us do the same to anybody else. If you are in any kind of dynamic right now where you think that you have to stay in that dynamic because you are the savior and you are the fixer, we release you from that now. That is a dark energy. That's a dark energy. And again, you can be a beautiful, wonderful person who is kind and giving and sacrificial and takes care of your family and takes care of your community. I'm not talking to you. This is not for everyone, just anybody who's in a relationship or anybody who's taking care of their family or anybody who is being a support to somebody they love. I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking about those of you, and if you're watching this and this is resonating, you know that I'm talking to you, and you know this is specific to you. I'm talking about those relationships and those dynamics that are delulu, and that are codependent, where you are both acting out of alignment, acting out of your divine plan, your divine authority, to play out this dynamic where one of you gets to be the rescuer and one of you gets to be the victim, or one of you gets to be the caretaker and one of you gets to be the victim or the child. So yeah, it's a dark energy. It's a dark energy that is not healthy and is not serving you. Okay, so now what percent are we blocked to having our self-control back? What percent are we blocked to our self-control? 0% now. And what percent are we open to really owning our self-control and using it to inform our actions? I just got 100%, so that's great. I'm just going to ask, is there anything else we can do here as it relates to this clearing? Anything else the collective would use beneficial? Anything here you can tell us, any messages? So we're asking to go inside of this chart to see if there is a helper, an energetic helper that we can call upon. And this is angels of light. So we can call upon the angels of light to help us in this situation, to help us through this transformation. Because again, I don't foresee this as being easy for some of you. These are deeply ingrained habitual patterns and archetypes that you've been operating inside of, either again as the victim and as the one who needs saved and rescued, or as the fixer, as the rescuer, as the savior. Those are deeply ingrained patterns for you, for your ego, for your persona, your personality, whatever. This is deep in your shadow. And it may not be so simple to just break through from that and to break outside of that. And so if you'd like, you can say, I call upon the angels of light to help me with this experience now. I know that I am just spirit I'm not going to say just, I know that I am spirit having a learning experience through this human body, through these human eyes, through this human heart, and I need help. I need help because my human side is weak. My human side is stuck in this relationship. My human side is stuck in this vow, contract, agreement. Hell, it could even be a curse. So I release myself from that now, and I call upon the angels of light to help me through this. Whew, okay, wonderful, wonderful. Well, gosh, I hope that this was helpful in some way for somebody. This was a little bit unexpected, but here we are. So, again, hi, I'm Kate. This is the Pointed Stone. This is what we do here. We do spiritual response technique. We can dive into anything that may be blocking you, any belief system. You're like, why do I believe this? Why do I believe this about myself? Why do I believe this about society? Why do I believe this about the world? Blocks to your connection to source, blocks to your connection to your intuition, blocks to your connection to where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing, where you're supposed to be going, who you're supposed to be with. If you're having a lot of confusion, if there's a lot of noise in your life, SRT can help with that. So reach out if you're interested in having a one-to-one session, or leave a comment and just ask for me to record a session for you specifically. Say, hey, this is what I'm interested in exploring, and I will absolutely do a clearing video on that thing. So make requests. I would love requests. That would be so fun and so amazing if folks wanted me to look at something in particular. Again, either on a collective level, like, hey, why are we all struggling with this whole, downfall of democracy right now? Can we look at that a little bit? Can we look at the downfall of democracy? And or let's look at something in particular, something special just for you, and then I could show everybody an example of what a specific kind of custom clearing might be like. Let's drop back in. Let's find ourselves right here, right now, in this very present moment, not thinking about the past, not worrying even about tomorrow, even though right now maybe your mind is going, oh my God, I have to break up with this person. Oh my God, I have to do this. I have to do that. Oh my gosh, I have to do this. No. Let's take a break for a second. Don't worry about how you're going to implement this. You don't have to do that right now. Just think about the self-control piece first. You don't have to break out of your identities and patterns and habits first. But what you do need to do is call in your ability to control yourself, call in your ability to take responsibility for your life and for your actions. That's what you can do now. All right, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and we will see you next time on another episode of Clearing with Kate.